Kazu is going to begin his demonstration by doing what he does normally. I think all of it will be that, with some coil building.
皆さんもご存知だと思いますけれども、ろくろはですね、丸いものを鬼なんですけども、手びねりは丸からいろんな形まで自分の思いようにできるのが手びねりのいいところです。
So the wonderful thing about coil building, unlike the wheel, which somewhat confines you to round shapes, of course we can alter them, but coil building allows much more freedom with form.
よく手びねりは素人というか初心者というんですけども、僕は手びねりは非常に手段としてはいい方法だと思うので、普段はないです。
Right. So he's very interested in coil building and has been working on it.
で、早速ですね、これしてみますので、
はい、どうぞ。Right. So he'll get started.
ですね、今日はちょっと丸い大物の
He's going to hiroi mono.
いや、壺ですね。
Right. So he's going to aim for some kind of large, roundish jar form.
で、その途中までやります。
And he'll probably get it built part way through. He'll see how the clay holds up. By the way, if I'm not talking loud enough, please tell me. Denise?
こっちで今、ここにろくろがあるんで、ろくろをちょっと電動の部分を利用しますけども、電気がないと思って考えてください。
家で電気がないのはやるの? Yeah, so normally in Japan he'd be using a kick wheel for this sort of work, but here it's electric, so anyway, you can imagine him on a kick wheel for this process. So, you all can imagine, maybe everybody knows about making pottery here, making a large round form. And of course, there's always the challenge later on of turning it over and having to trim it or finish it up. And he's going to show us a way where he has no finishing or no trimming.
今、これはですね、鋼台の内側の部分を作りました。で、これですね、まず水を。
Yeah. So he's got this base that he's thrown in this case, moistened.
で、普段はですね、わらばえの灰を使います。
Normally he'd be using rice straw ash or rice hull ash to do what he's doing, but he's got regular fireplace ash here that the studio had. So he'll use the ash to sprinkle on this thrown base.
で、ここはちょっと味噌でして。
なんで? Yeah. ちょっと水の容器を変えます。人が見えるように。
今の粉の振った上にですね、このように粘土をかぶせます。
So he's now made a large patty of clay, and he covered that sprinkled lower patty.
What's the purpose of the ash?
で、灰を振った理由は何ですか？
はい、これはですね、ここからここに積んでいくんですけども、積んで終わったらですね、ここに横を回しながらナイフを入れます。
何も？
ナイフ。
ナイフ。
そして持ち上がると最初のやつがここに残って、そこが
Right. So the technique is such that he'll, coil and make a fairly large piece, and then later on, I'm not sure exactly how much later, but at some point, he will take a knife and cut under there, and it will separate where the ash is and leave that bottom on the wheel. Yeah. Yeah. Right, so this is his coil method. He doesn't roll them, apparently. He vertically. Or maybe he rolls it too.
紐作りはですね、手びねりの基本だと僕思ってるんですけども、最初に皆さんですね、なかなか紐うまくできないんです。それなぜかというとですね、ちょこまかとこう当然平らになるような動きをしているわけですね。で、これはですね、やっぱり練習しなきゃなりませんけども、紐を作る時は全部使って。
All right, so he does roll it, and he's saying that often beginners have trouble getting a nice round coil because they're not using their entire hand from tip to end of palm. And if you use it well, you'll get a nice round coil.
ここの最初のつながりですね。ここに一応土目塗ったりするんですけども、今日は時間がない土目を塗って、こうしっかりと傷をつけてから積んでいくんですけども、今日時間がないのでちょっとそこはしょってみます。
So he'll just kind of abbreviate the process. He would normally do some other steps here with more ash, but he'll just begin building the pot. このぐらい柔らかいのはいいですか？
いや、その時は違います。僕はもうちょっと硬いのを使いますけど。
Normally he'd be working with slightly harder clay, but